Hi, my name is Adam Farrer. I'm a writer and a spoken word performer and the senior editor of a publication called The Real Story. We specialise in a form of writing called creative non-fiction, which is basically true stories. Writers will submit their work to us, and if we like their stories, we will pair them up with an editor to get the very best out of their work, and then we'll publish them. We also host regular live events, and these writers will get up and perform the stories that we've worked on with them in front of an audience and get applause and feedback, and it's a really lovely thing to do. I also write and perform my own creative non-fiction stories, and I've just finished work on my first book. To be honest, I fell into this kind of work. It was never my plan. I didn't want to be a writer or run a publishing company. What I wanted to be was a comic book illustrator. I was very passionate about that as a child. So when I got to sixth form college, I studied art at BTEC level. And at the end of those 2 years of study, I realised that I was never going to be good enough to become an illustrator. So I transitioned over into sculpture. I went to university, studied sculpture at HND level for 2 years. And at the end of that period, before I moved on to topping up to a degree, I accepted that I wasn't going to be a sculptor either. But during my time at university, I joined a band and got very passionate about music. And as a way to get free CDs and get free concert tickets, I started writing music reviews and interviewing bands and writing articles, and quietly got very into writing as well. And over the years, I would start writing my own stories and not showing them to anyone. Because I wasn't trained as a writer, I was very insecure and assumed that they must be rubbish and everyone would hate them. But about 6 years ago, through Twitter, I ended up connecting with the people who ran the Prestwich Book Festival and helping them out with their events, and got confident enough to show my stories to one of the organisers, who then showed them to the people who ran The Real Story at the time. They liked my stories, so they published them, and then they asked me to perform at one of their live events. I was very, very nervous about this because playing in a band is very different to standing on your own in front of a microphone and reading out loud. So I was very nervous, but I did it anyway because I realised that it was probably good for me. It's like if you're scared of something, it's probably good to push through it. So I got on stage shaking with nerves, and I read a story about something very stupid and quite funny that had happened to me. And I got lots of laughs, and it was exciting. So I got kind of hooked, and I began performing at more and more storytelling nights in Manchester, writing a new story for every performance, and getting those stories published. I gained more and more confidence and was asked to perform at festivals and other events, met other writers, and 4 years later, I took over the running of The Real Story, the company that first published me. I was always told that writing was the thing I did best. But I had it in my head that I wanted to be a musician, so I found it quite hurtful to be told that my music wasn't the best thing I was doing. And I wish I'd listened to other people's advice and been less stubborn about moving towards the thing I was best at. I feel like I might have developed more quickly as a writer if I hadn't been trying to become a musician. And it took me a while to realise that I wanted to be a musician in the same way that I wanted to be Spider-Man when I was 7. But not everything is the best fit for you. Following your dream when your natural abilities lead you somewhere else can be counterproductive. That said, I don't have any real regrets, because mistakes and failures and bad choices are creative fuel. They make you determined, and they give you experience, and as a writer of true stories, they just give me material, so it's fine. One piece of advice I would want to give to someone who was looking to work in a creative industry, I'd want them to think that unless they happen upon something that really connects with people, they should not expect to become rich. Almost every writer or creative person I know has a second job to pay the bills. However, what a job in a creative industry does for me at least, is make you happy. I've learned that as long as you make enough money to get by, doing something you love and are passionate about is much better for you than doing something you hate for a bigger salary. And if you find a way to do this work from your home, like I do, then at the end of your shift, you can roll straight onto your bed and go to sleep. Thank you.